Alright, friends, this is going to be a little different from what I normally do. Today, I am going to be testing my new PC upgrade. As you all know, I upgraded my motherboard and I got 2 NVMe drives. I had some problems initially where games weren't running properly. It turns out I needed to enable, I think it's called XMP, in the BIOS. So I had to go into the BIOS and tweak around in there. Now things seem to be working fine, so I've taken some time this past week to install a lot of games on the NVMe, so we're just going to try a bunch of games here, see how they run. Play this for a little bit. Forgot how much the particle effects tank the frame rate. They make it really hard to see, too. It's like worse than Marvel 3. Let's try that again. It's not running too bad, but particle effects in this game, because we know this game is optimized so greatly, could really start to mess with the frame rate after a while. Let's see if that helps. So what I'm going to be doing is playing each game for a little short bite-sized period of time, and I'll be editing the game transitions, and we'll be trying out a bunch of games. Maybe not necessarily things I would play a lot right now, but still, just things I've played in the past. Alright, it's running pretty good now. Not getting any frame drops whatsoever. Maybe I'll be able to run this game at max settings when I get a 30 series graphics card, but that's like trying to find the Holy Grail at this point. These things are ridiculously expensive. I don't even think the official retailers are selling them for MSRP right now. So I've got to make do with what I have. Alright, I think that's enough of this. Let's go ahead and switch games. I will be right back. Alright, here's another test. I haven't played this game in a long time. I'm unsure if the equipment editor still works. I would like to try some more builds at some point, but today we're just gonna do a little quick run on here. Chill out for a bit. See how this runs. I don't think this game will get much of a benefit from the NVMe because it already has like almost no load times. This game's actually pretty well optimized, especially for a Koei Tecmo game. I think their ports are getting better. They're getting better and better. They've definitely improved quite a bit. Let's run the goats. Let's see, where is it? Alright. Kinda wish they would still support this game. It would be nice to not need to use external mods to really mess around with builds. It's nice to have, don't get me wrong, but it would be nice if the game was a little bit more welcoming in terms of changing your builds around. Alright. Alright, well this is working fine. I definitely do notice that this game does load a little bit faster. Apparently what a lot of people have said is that NVMe is mostly good with games that stream the assets off the storage device, or the storage space, frequently. So things like the game I just played in the first part of this video, Dynasty Warriors 9, would really benefit from it because that game is constantly streaming data off the disk. I know that when Tales of Arise drops in about 4 months, that's going to be an obvious game to put on the NVMe because it's going to be an open world and streaming off the hard drive constantly. This game, it doesn't really make much of a difference. You could easily just put this on an SSD and probably not feel too much of a difference. But I'm mostly just testing out things I play frequently, or I did play frequently until recently, where I've had other stuff I've been working on, the Boomer games and the service games and stuff like that. So I'm going to go ahead and cut out, and we're going to transition to the next game. Alright, this game is well known for taking a fiscal year to load, so let's give this a shot. I don't know how this game is coded, but just like loading the title screen is a big ordeal. Feels like playing a Grand Theft Auto game on PS2. Just like that big loading screen at the beginning before you could even play. Here it's just like it's loading the title screen, which is pretty strange. I don't know why it's like that. I noticed that initial load was a lot faster, so that's good. Alright, I haven't played this in an eon, so... pretty much instant loads. Kinda wish this game got more support too. It's really weird how they added these 9 really well-designed characters. They're better designed than a lot of the base roster, but then there's nothing to use them on, so... The game lost its luster pretty quickly for most people. I definitely got more out of this than most did. Got all the achievements and stuff. But it's definitely a game that kind of falls apart unless you find people to play it with online. Very little material replay value. It doesn't help that a lot of the characters are very poorly designed too. That's loading a little bit faster too. Cutscenes are real annoying. I think the most annoying thing about this game is how often the enemies tech out of combos. They burst way too often. Feels really awkward, I guess would be a word for it. Alright, that's gonna do it for this test. This game definitely does load quite a bit faster. Internet speed has been throttled pretty hard lately, so I don't really feel like transferring the games back and forth. The rule of thumb is that the games do seem to be loading faster, especially games like this that generally loaded a lot slower. This game has really weird load times. Loading into the level is like near instant on an SSD, but transitioning between levels takes like a fiscal year for some reason. So let's see how good the transition is going to be here. Still a bit long, but that's definitely a lot less than before. Alright, I'm going to cut out again, and we're going to do 2 more games. Alright, this is another game that takes a long time to load. People have already said that the PS5 version loads way faster, but I don't have one of those, as we all know, so we're gonna test this.
Devil May Cry.
Let's just go ahead and load into the prologue. Cutscenes are really awkward because they're pre-rendered. They're not in engine like every other cutscene, so they're locked at 30 FPS and they look considerably worse. But obviously they started working on this while COVID was starting, so I guess they didn't have the capability to do motion capture and stuff, which is understandable, but the cutscenes they added in the Special Edition / Virgil DLC are very off-putting. They look like they're from a different game, almost. Definitely loaded into the map a lot faster than before. This was the game I was having trouble with the most. It was crashing the most, having weird performance issues.
Now you stop. You overcome. Down. Go to hell. Now you. Now you.
I've never liked this enemy. They're boring to fight. Too much health. Like, this enemy would be more interesting if they actually staggered. I really don't find them fun to fight. If they had less health, I think it would be fine. But they have like 50 billion health. They're really not fun. I find them actively frustrating and annoying to fight. That's okay though. I also haven't played this in a while too. It's not really the game's fault. That's what I was doing wrong. Bad pause timing. Alright, Virgil, it's time to fight yourself. I think the amount of times you fight this boss is really dumb, too. This boss is not fun at all. DMC5 is definitely lacking in humanoid bosses. Probably one of my biggest issues with it, personally. They really want you to fight this wall like 4 times, instead of something actually interesting to fight. Definitely some questionable bosses in this game. Let's go ahead and load into another map before I switch over here. Ah, that's definitely pretty fast. Alright, so I fixed this game too. This game was causing me the most problems. The frame rate was tanking. It wasn't running like it should have. It turns out my RAM was not running at the right speed. I had to go in and enable XMP or whatever it's called to make the RAM run at its advertised frequency, and that seems to have fixed everything. CPU usage is down and performance is up across the board. So I've got one more game to try, but last time I tried to do this, it didn't record. So I'm going to say goodbye here in case it doesn't run. If there's nothing after this, then that game didn't work, but if there is, then I'll see you there. Alright, this is the final game in my little new hardware test. This actually doesn't seem to benefit from it much at all. if you have this game on an SSD, it's pretty much going to load about as fast as it can get. I did not get the best SSDs out there. I wasn't really, or NVMEs, wasn't really aware of how much they vary, but we all know I had some issues with the PS5 incident, so I got what I could. There's always an option to upgrade these later, but let's go ahead and load into this really quick. Yeah, they're doing some henshin poses there. It does load a little bit faster. It's not really that noticeable. Mostly noticeable from hard drive to SSD or PS4 to PC. Generally where you're going to notice the most load time difference with this game. This is the best port out of all of the games they put on Epic for the Kingdom Hearts series. The older legacy games, meaning 1, 2, Chain of Memories, and all the other ones, they don't run that great. I think 1 is relatively decent, but 2 is very prone to crashing, so I watch a lot of the Kingdom Hearts streams because they're way better at these games than I am. They definitely gave me a different perspective on what these games can be. I always thought that they're just button mashers. There definitely is still a lot of that depending on how you play, but those guys play it at a much higher level than I can, and they're pretty upset because the randomizer got ported to PC within a few weeks, but the problem is it crashes so often that they can't play it at 60 FPS and stuff. Overall, I had pretty much no problems with this port. I played through the entire thing. There definitely are some aspects that are really weird. There's that part where you fight like thousands of Heartless, kind of like how you did in Kingdom Hearts 2, and apparently that part just runs poorly regardless of your specs. If you actually look at your performance tab in your task manager while you're playing that part, if you have a decent enough PC like I do, your computer actually won't be taxed at all, but for whatever reason, the engine just can't handle having that many enemies on screen at once, so it becomes a relative slideshow. I think it went down to like maybe 60 or 70 FPS for me, as opposed to 120 like it is during the rest of the game. There's also some other weird elements too, like when you load into the Pirates of the Caribbean world, when you go by the port where the ship is initially, it lags a lot, but other than that, this port was actually way better than I was expecting, although everybody was, to be fair, was expecting this to be the best port simply because it's on an engine that works really well on PC. Generally, whenever they put a Unreal Engine 4 game on PC, it just runs better out of the box. There's very rarely any problems, and that's pretty much what happened here. I have to find like all the lucky emblems, and then I have to get the
Sora, you're heading off course. I've put up a virtual boundary near the city limits.
Then I have to get all the materials for the Ultima weapon, and I just haven't really gotten around to it yet. Maybe I'll start working this into my kitty sitting streams at some point, so that I can start doing the new DLC and stuff. As you can see, this is running pretty smoothly. If I go to a save point here, be able to load in and out of worlds pretty quickly.
Hey, he's not. New campus, new life.
This is going to be a lot more directionless than the other games because I play this like a fraction amount of the time that I played all the other stuff, but just thought I'd show this off. Oh, wow, that was considerably faster than before. Why does Donald talk so slow? It's like he's stuck in slow motion. Let's go ahead and load a fight here.
It's over! Fire! So long! Back off! Here we go!
Nice. Oh, it's actually not bad. Oh boy, more lore, just what I wanted. And I unlocked a selfie pose. What a great unlockable. Totally changed the way I'm gonna play the game, right? Alright, well this is
Fellas!
actually, I'm not sure where the endgame boss is. Somewhere around here, but I'm gonna go ahead and sign off there. That's my little test of the games that I installed on the NVMe. I installed a couple others as well, but I think the point's gotten across. The games are definitely loading quite a bit better, and it's gonna future-proof the computer for next couple games. I have looked at Scarlet Nexus a little bit. I'm kind of interested in that game, but I haven't followed it that much. Tales of Arise, like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, is going to be a pretty big one as well. Definitely going to be able to just pop those on the NVMe and have a pretty seamless experience. Thanks for watching.